all love, which is all great. But by the time he was 3, he had accumulated quite a lot of stuff. And his birthday happens to be in October, right around Christmas time. And, he was in the, I want. And I'm looking at his room, and it's just filled with stuff, some of which he hadn't even touched in I don't even know how long. So I sat him down. I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? And again, I was young. I mean, when he was 3, I was, I don't know, late 20s. So I'm like, okay. So I sat him down, and I'm like, Mike. And I started to talk to him about all the things that he had and how great it felt. And then I started to talk to him about how there's so many kids out there that don't have all these things, that don't have toys, that don't have aunts and uncles and friends, showering them with all this love. And that sometimes we need to be that person. So, he kind of looked at me. He was like 3 years old, and he's not really understanding. So I took him in the car, and I drove him around neighborhoods that you could clearly see were just not as blessed, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's even the right word, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah, impoverished
and
neighborhoods.
yes, and he sees them, and he sees the tattered clothes, and he doesn't see toys, and he doesn't see anything. He sees people sitting on a stoop doing nothing, almost with blank faces, and it's like, and he was just floored. And I remember his face. I remember, I'm like, oh my God, he got it. And quite honestly, in that moment, I was a little scared. I'm like, what is this going to do, again, going on the fly. So then I told him, I said, how about we give some of your toys away so that some of these boys and girls can have some stuff to play with, and they're really good places that we can give this stuff away to make sure that they get it before Christmas comes along, before, you get more stuff from all the people that love you. Well, he went into his room and ransacked the place. I mean, he was giving everything away. It was like, everything has to go. Everything has to go.
So
and
sweet.
I was like, no. I'm like slowing him down. I'm like, no. And then, again, on the fly, in that moment, now I had to show him boundaries. I'm like, no, you can't do all or nothing. Find a place. You're going to love this, or you're going to miss it if you don't have this particular one, right? He goes, yes. But this one, when was the last time you touched it? And he's like, okay, all right, that one can go. And then kind of morphed into that. But to this day, and because I did the same thing with my daughter, every season we purge and we give. As a matter of fact, he just came home yesterday from college, his second year of college, and I was out running a ton of errands. I wasn't here to meet him. And we're in a new home, and we've rented for 10 years, so this isn't a home that we own now. So his room is his room. And I came in, and I saw a big box in the garage, and I walked upstairs, and he was putting his room together, just doing what he's doing, putting everything away. He's trying to figure out how he wants to decorate it. He's changing this. He's like, I need Dad to help me put this up here. I'm like, okay. He goes, oh, and by the way, Mom, the 3 boxes downstairs, that's all to Goodwill. There's 2 to Goodwill. There's 1 for garbage. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, I want to parent, but at that moment, it was almost for me like, wow, I did a good job.
Oh, that's going to make me cry. That's so good.
Right, and I was like, that made me cry. I'm looking at him. I was like, oh, my goodness. So all I did was say, wow, Michael, that's fantastic. I'm not going to go too crazy. I told him, I'm so happy to have you home, so happy to have you in your room. This is great. That's great. And I walked out because I didn't want to make it a bigger deal than what it was. But I'll be honest with you, it was a big deal to me because it was a culmination of 19 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And then with my daughter, with my daughter, it's different, very different. With Michael still operates with less based on that lesson. You know what I mean? He will still operate with less. He'll still wait. He'll still, almost to the point where I have to tell him, no, it's okay. You deserve this and you need this, so you can have this, And although he's getting a lot better with that. My daughter, girls are very different. They want. They like things with pretty colors, and that excites them. So when she was little, she couldn't wait to go shop at Justice for Girls.
Right.
She just wanted to go shop there and buy everything. And I walked in that first day when she finally fit in the clothes, and I was like, oh my goodness, this stuff is expensive. Some of it more expensive than clothes for myself.
Right.
So I was like, well, sweetheart, this doesn't exactly fit in the budget. And she was about 7 or 8, and she tells me, what's a budget?
Amen. What's a budget?
Because I just threw a word out there, and so sure enough, Yeah, we sat down at the bench, and this was right here. Well, I live over here in Brevard County, right over here at the Avenue. We sat down at the bench, and I explained to her exactly what it is in the terms that I thought that she could understand. So what does that mean? I said, well, we live in a home, and that home has to be paid for. When you turn the lights on and they go on and off because you need to find something, that has to be paid for. When you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that you can stay healthy and all that stuff has to be paid for. All these things so that you can live a good life, those things must be taken care of first. Then after that, with some stuff left over that you've saved, that you've this, that you've that, then you can enjoy some of the good stuff. And if it doesn't fit in that budget with what you have coming in and what you have going out, then you either can't get it or you have to save for it. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure if she was going to get that lesson right then and there, but she just looked at me and was like, okay. But then her next question, very insightful, was, well, then how do we save for it? Or how can I get enough? My first thing was to go, well, let's go to the clearance rack. It's always in the back. So,
yes. Teach her about the clearance.
Yes, to this day, that little girl, she just cracked me up. She is one of the most savviest shoppers I've ever known. This girl will not pay retail for anything. She knows how to get the discount off. She knows where to get the discount off. She knows what time, if it's here on this day, she knows exactly when it's going to be on sale, either 12 days later or what have you. So she still has her wants and desires, but she figured out for herself how to get it so it doesn't ruin her. And that's kind of, for me, I thought that was fantastic. I thought, wow, she learned that lesson. And obviously it goes a little bit deeper with finances and what they need and all that. But I think those two lessons are key to understanding how I did that, how I taught them.
I think that guys, you can't ask for a better example of that. I am moved so much by an adult, now an adult, young adult son in college who has the wherewithal to be already packing up the Goodwill boxes of his own volition without you like nagging him or begging him to do it. That really is evidence of the seeds that you've sown into him throughout the years really coming to fruition. He's going to be that kind of father. He's going to be that kind of husband that teaches that to his children when it's his turn. And I want to actually segue a little bit here into your husband because he's such a huge part of your family structure. And you've mentioned that he has a beautiful relationship with your daughter. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think that a lot of women would be interested to know. Also, I think that a father in the house shifts the way that a woman views the world and goes through the world. So can you tell us about his relationship with your daughter?
I think that is so true, the last thing that you said, a father in the house shifts. I am, as you know, I'm a very strong person. You know that. You don't survive the projects in Brooklyn without being strong.
Amen.
You just don't. You just do not. It's impossible. So I am very strong.
And not to come out to the life you have, too, Miss Cynthia.
Exactly.
You've made a beautiful life for yourself, especially coming from that. So I give you hats off and kudos for that.
Thank you. But what I want to tell you is that there is a lesson even in that. That same temperament to temper to balance. To say, yep, I could do it. Yep, I need a man. Yep, I could do this. I could do that. Yes, I could do all those things. I have done all those things. When the people around me have faltered, I don't wait for it to be done. I go out and I do it. And that's not even a thought process. I just do. Do you know what I mean? However, that doesn't mean that that's how I want it to be. I don't want it to be like that. I wanted to find someone that I can share my life with. I wanted to find someone that I could lean on, who could also lean on me. I wanted it all. I wanted the family unit. I think we all do, if we're really true to ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever that family unit means to you.
Exactly.
You want that. So to negate that negates yourself and also negates your possibilities, your potential. So I will say that, I mean, my husband, I can't say enough about my husband. He is just, he's an amazing man. He's an amazing father. He's a best friend. He is just unbelievable. And that's not to say that we haven't had arguments. Girl, I won't even go into that because that's a topic for another day.
We'll have her back on, guys. What do you think? We'll talk about that later.
Funny. That's definitely a topic for another day. But he has allowed himself to grow and evolve. I've allowed myself to grow and evolve, and we've allowed each other to grow and evolve. And that's so huge. That is so huge. Such a good lesson for everyone, not just, mothers and daughters and fathers and sons in the family unit, but for people outside the family unit to see. And taking that into effect when it comes with my daughter. I mean, with my son, it's a no-brainer. They both love baseball. My son's been playing baseball since he was 3 years old. And they have had that. That was their thing that they had. And he coached his teams. He was a member, I don't know if you know, Tom was a coach, and my son was on the team here in Rockledge, the 14-year-old Little League team, and they made it all the way to the World Series, and we won.
Wow.
That's another topic for another day.
Yes.
But it's so huge. It was such a huge experience. Now, you take that with my daughter. Well, she came into the world, and he never let her go, ever. That's 5 years after my son. He just never let her go. And he's still that way with her. And when they were little, when she was tiny, she was about 3 years old, he started to take her on, quote, shopping sprees. Now, this is something that he used to do with me while we were dating.
Right.
We would go every spring and every fall, and, we had money at that time. There was no kids, no nothing. We're dating. Everything's great. This is back in New York. And we would just go out shopping, and he would come with me. And we would just have so much fun. It was just fun. There wasn't, like, oh, my God, I'm going shopping. We were just together. We didn't really think about what it was that we were doing. We were just together. So when my daughter was born, that morphed into with her. So when she was 3, see, with Mommy, she kind of, we did the let's go to the clearance, let's watch out, let's this, let's that. When they went on their shopping spree, it was understood, all of us involved, that kind of went out the window a little bit. She was being treated that day to the day that she should be treated. She was a princess for a day. Now, did it have to do with the shopping? Absolutely not. It had to do with the 3 hours and 4 hours that they were out there where she was talking and he was listening. Whereas Daddy, 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 and he would listen. And he would talk to her. And they were spending time together where it was just the two of them. Had nothing to do with Michael and had nothing to do with Mom. And that was just, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't put a number on it, on how important that time spent together was. Because to this day, she'll come in, she'll go right straight to her father and she'll start talking. Talk. And she does it with me as well. But, for a girl to not even falter, to go to her dad.
Yes.
Everything. Things that most fathers, when they hear their daughter say, and she's 14, so,
Yeah.
She might as well be 25 with some of the stuff that, but she's so open. We've made it so that she can be open, so that she can say all those things, so that we can have this dialogue with her. And she doesn't even think about it. She just walks in, Dad,
yep.
And then he'll look at me like, oh, my God, she just hit me with whatever it is. And then he'll take a deep breath, and it's like back into shopping spree. You know what I mean? It hasn't changed. The topics have changed, but the relationship has not changed. And one of those things, which is so funny, this might be very embarrassing. She's probably going to tell me to know that I would even say this out loud. But because they've been shopping since she was 3, as you get older, you need different things.
Mm-hmm.
You need underclothes.
Right.
You become a young lady, and you need even more underclothes.
Yes.
You become a young lady, and you want lots of underclothes because you love wearing all that stuff. She's girly that way. She definitely is. She loves it. Well, he's the one that takes her shopping every 3 to 4 months, and she'll walk in the door, and she's like, Dad, it's time for 5 for 27. And what does that mean? Well, anybody who goes to Victoria's Secret or Pink knows that they have a sale. You get 5 pair of underwear for $27 or something along that gamut. And he just looks at me and laughs, but she'll look at Dad. It's time for 5 for 27. The sale is on. We got to go. And he's like, okay. And he just gets in the car, and they go over, and she's picking through all her stuff, and he's holding the basket with all the stuff. No shame in his game. There's no shame. There's no shame on either one of them. Because really, what would there be to be? Exactly. There's nothing to be shameful of. It's just clothes. You know? It's clothes, and it's actually needed clothes, So
Yeah.
they do that. She just did it 2 weeks ago. Dad, size 27. I'm running out of stuff. I need stuff. And he just, he just laughs. But that they're so close